Meditate on this. Your prefrontal cortex is your brain CEO, but like any executive, it can burn out. Here's some free game on what this is responsible for: executive functions, decision making, and also cognitive control. When your prefrontal cortex is weak or fatigued, you might find yourself making impulsive decisions, struggling to focus, or failing to control emotional responses. Here's how to strengthen your brain's command center. The first is that this area of the brain excels when it is exposed to deliberate challenge, like a muscle. So you can try these following exercises. The first is dual end back training, which has been proven to increase your working memory. The second is learning a musical instrument, which combines multiple executive functions. Now, I personally have started hand panning in my spare time. I mean, I would have preferred the drums, but I think the neighbors would have been very, very upset with me. Album dropping soon. In all seriousness, I know it might sound silly and perhaps something not worth your time, but you will be amazed about how creative and how far more engaged your prefrontal cortex is when you start to try and learn something that is especially challenging, when you need to learn, let's say, one pattern with one hand and a separate pattern with another. And also it's a pretty hot hobby as well. Girls love a musician. Equally, something that you can look into is strategy games like chess or Go, which kind of forces your mind to think about long form planning. I'll reveal something about myself that is a little bit less hot. I am a big lover of RTS games. When I can spare some time, StarCraft 2 is one of my favorites because of how incredibly mentally engaging it is. You have to balance your understanding of, let's say, the map you spawn in comparatively to the enemy units that are out on the field so that you can counter those units. So your scouting needs to be good, all while managing your resources and putting them where they need to be in order to boost your economy and boost your army. The second system is going to be train your brain's pause button. So research from Harvard Medical School shows that in just 8 weeks of daily meditation can increase the density of your prefrontal cortex. Here's how you can practice daily. Start small, like with anything, 5 minutes of focused breathing. I would say that you can only reach true depth in meditation after about 20 minutes. So that's kind of your aim. And you can use apps like Headspace or Calm or Insight Timer for guided sessions. Another pro tip is to schedule it right after waking when prefrontal cortex activity is naturally high. You're kind of in that alpha state. You can actually find guided breath work, which shifts you from that beta wave to that alpha state in my Patreon below. Good option if you want to support my work, whilst also supercharging your prefrontal cortex. The third is to boost your brain's processing power. You can think about this as RAM for some of those computer nerds among you. And I use the word nerds with the greatest affection. Exercise increased BDNF, a protein that acts like a fertilizer for your prefrontal cortex. Your optimal brain boosting workout plan might look something like this: 30 minutes of zone 2 cardio, so able to hold a conversation in terms of intensity, approximately 4 times a week. HIIT training can be good as well, can be very, very useful. Twice a week has shown evidence of doubling BDNF production, and also exercising outdoors for a bonus such as, increased cognitive benefits and overall holistic health. We're going to move on to feeding your command center. So your prefrontal cortex consumes approximately 20% of your body's energy. Optimize its functions with the following nutrients, such as omega-3s, 2 to 3 servings of fatty fish weekly, or around 2,000 milligrams of DHA EPA supplementation. Antioxidants equally, such as blueberries daily, proven to improve executive function. We also need to consider magnesium, approximately 400 milligrams through maybe something like dark chocolate or nuts, or you can also go supplementation. I actually did a video on magnesium going through all the different variants a couple weeks or maybe months back. Hydration, so 2.7 to 3 liters, I would say, daily, or you could even increase that up to maybe 4 liters. Experiment. Dehydration can reduce your prefrontal cortex activity by 15%. So it is significant. And the final system I really think is mastering recovery. So you should be aiming to optimize your recovery period, sleep approximately 7 to 9 hours, And I would say the temperature is also very important, probably about 18 degrees Celsius in a room, stopping blue light about 2 hours approximately before bed, limiting alcohol. It can actually reduce prefrontal cortex activity for up to 48 hours, and practice some form of stress reduction, 10 minutes walk in nature. That actually specifically has shown it reduces cortisol by 12%. Remember, guys, these aren't just good habits. They're investments. They're investments into your brain CEO. Start with one practice and then build upon it gradually. Your prefrontal cortex will thank you. You'll make better decisions, stronger focus, improved emotional control, mitigating any relapse. Facts, no theories. Speak soon.